Okay, so now we have a button working which I can click on and the message will appear and disappear. So what we want to do now is we want to extend our script to be able to use the input box and the date. So what we want to do now is we want to say who pressed the button and what date did they select. So to do that, I will need to get hold of two more elements. So if you look into my HTML here, you'll see I've got the date and I have, what else do I have? I have the name. So now we need the date and the name. You see the name here and the date there. So I'm going to need to say get a reference to const the name, and I'm going to say here document dot query selector, and I'm going to say here give me a reference to the name. And you'll note that I'm using the same variable name here as the class name. That doesn't have to be like that. I'm just using it so that it's clear which value we have, but this variable can be called anything. So the other thing is we want to have a const to the date, and we also want document dot query selector, and we want to call this one the date. So now I've got references to the name and I've got references to the date. So what we want to do is we want to create a message now. We want to create a new variable here, user name, and we're going to go here and say username dot value. So I'm going to say, and then I also create another variable here, constant the date. I can't do the, I'm going to, because that's already a variable, the current date, and then I want to say the date dot value. So what we're going to do now is, okay, that's a bit of a typo there, current date. So now I want to create a new variable, const message, and I want to say here, I want to say something like this, hi, then I want to say here username, and then I want to say you pressed the button on, and then I want to display the date here at the back. I want to say current date dot value. So now I've created a message, and what I want to now say is the message dot inner HTML is equal to message. So let's see if I run that. So if I just run it now, okay, something's wrong. Let's have a look. Go on access username before initialization. So it's telling me there's a problem with username. Okay, and problem is here. What I referenced the wrong thing. So this should be the name, because that's my DOM element. So now let's have a look. Control R. If I run this now, you see how you press a button on undefined. Okay, so you see now at this point in time, because I didn't put in any name. So if I put name in, say hi Andrew. Okay, so that's better. See date on undefined. So it's basically telling me that this is undefined. So let's just see if I put a date in here. I press that. So there's still a problem with my date. So let's have a look here. Date. So you press the current date dot value. Oh, okay, so the problem is telling me I'm already asking for the get the current value from the date. So all that I need to do here, I don't need to say dot value. I just need to say current date. So let's see if that's it. So if I refresh this, it's important to refresh so that the code will reload. So let's have a look. 24th and press that. Okay, and you press the button on. So I can change the date now. You can see that that will give me a different date now, and I can change the name here now. And you'll see that our page is starting to become more and more interactive as we are going along. And that all by now just again getting a reference to the name and a reference to the date. And then when I'm clicking on my button, I'm saying give me the value, and then we can go to the date field. So as you can see in here, that's a date field, input type date. So that hence it's got a special date pop-up that's coming up. I can get the values from there, and then I can nicely click and get different values displayed on my screen. So hopefully that makes sense, and you can see how we can use the DOM to get references to elements and how to start linking them all together.